What is up, y'all? What is up? Today is January 4th, the first Sunday of the year. I just had dinner and all that, went to church, and right now I just felt led. I could be going out there doing Uber or whatnot, but I felt led to do this video real quick because a lot of stuff is going on as far as you all know, and I wanted to share with you guys real quick. This is not going to be a tool review or anything like that. This is going to be something totally different. This is going to be actually how easy it is for you to make an AR-15. Why are you talking about that in the beginning of the year? And by the way, Happy New Year's to all those that is out there. You're now tuned in to Omar the Crowbar, where we talk about tools and things, and a lot of the AR content, which we're going to be talking about how easy it is for you to make your own gun. Now, we're going to be talking about two players in the game. All right? Which the one that I'm going to be talking about first is the Anderson. If you guys don't know Anderson, you see that horse right there. You see the Anderson, been in the game for years, based out in Kentucky. And this is actually my first build. I just completed, big shout outs to Magpul, because I had an extra one of these. I just completed yesterday. This, I was going to put it on my YouTube channel, but it would have been forever to post. This needs to be a little bit tucked in a little bit, but it's like 95% of the way in. As you guys can see, I don't know if you guys can see it on the camera. It's this little touch in, which that's not a big deal. But nevertheless, if you guys don't know who's Anderson, you see a lot of YouTube videos on them. And I purchased this particular Anderson for about $60. You know, I think with the background check, I don't really remember. I think it was around $60 with the background check, give or take. Now, I ain't gonna lie to you. It would took me forever to get this in, and the tool that I used for this was Tool Tools, and I used, believe it or not, I used the Pittsburgh. If you guys see right here, I used the Pittsburgh T-handle hex key set. I used the SAE. I used this one for this side of the gun, and actually, no, was it? It was this side. Yeah, that one is practically done already. Yeah, it's flushed in. Unlike this side right here, that this needs a tiny bit down. I could live with that. Some people can't. I could live with that. But I ain't gonna lie to you. Putting this in, big shout outs to Magpul. I had an extra one laying around somewhere. So putting this in, and then this handle is from my Smith & Wesson, but I need to get the safety for it. But there you go, that's the handle. This needs to get the safety on there, and this build will practically be almost complete. Now, I'm gonna show you a big other player in the game, which is the Yes. Aero Precision. And if you guys notice, I put duct tape on the numbers because that's my identity, and I can't give it to you guys. No disrespect, but this is this is the almost an Anderson. There's the Aero Precision lower. Aero Precision lower. Now, what makes this different from any other lowers? This part right here, you don't need to toil around with it. It's already installed for you. Also, there is some big differences here, and I guess I will have to take out, I don't know, this lower to show you the difference. But this, if you're gonna go with this one, you don't have to toil around also with this, because this is all solid metal, which is a nice touch. My only gripe is this doesn't have the Anderson logo right here, but I could live with that. It does have the Anderson logo right here, small. I don't know what this thing is right here. It doesn't have it on this one, and we are going to be taking this one out. If I could show you the comparisons. As a matter of fact, let me see if I got my screwdriver so we can do that. I got it right here. I'm gonna have to take this one out anyway because you need to have a safety on here in order for you to run a gun anyway. So like I said, this one came out of my Smith & Wesson. So we're taking this screw out. I'm going to show you guys real quick what I'm talking about the safety. Because even though you got a handle for your gun, you also need to put a safety in it. I'm having some difficulties taking this out. Yeah, there we go. So here's the deal. I'm gonna show you guys real quick what I'm talking about. Right here. Oh. Give me a second. Hello?
God bless you, brother.
God bless. Happy New Year's.
Happy New Year, Merry Christmas, and all the other holidays.
How's it going? Everything's good?
Yeah, I just got here yesterday from vacation.
Oh wow. Is it okay if I call you right back?
Yeah, I'm gonna be busy, but yeah, if not, see, if anything is an emergency, you gotta talk to me or something. Good?
No, everything is good. It's just I'm doing a YouTube video and I'm in the middle of the video.
Okay, we talk later then.
All right?
Alright.
All right. All right. Sorry about that, guys. That was an important phone call that I had to pick up, and I didn't want to be rude. I should have just called back. But here's what we're talking about right here. Is this right here? There's a safety pin that goes with your AR, and it goes with every AR. If you guys can see there, the Aero Precision has it. Also, the Anderson has it right here. If you can see that hole. So that pin is so important. And by law, I think by law, you have to have a safety. Because if you don't have a safety, I don't know if that's true or not, but you have to have a safety on your AR. So moving forward, a lot of people, if you're not hands on, like I am, you might want to lean more towards the Aero Precision more than the Anderson. And not only that in particular, the quality of the, I don't know, because they kind of look similar. I honestly don't know. Other than you not having to play with this and having to play with this part and this part, this is the way to go. Because you're already like 2 steps ahead of the game. You know, not having to toil or mess around with parts, which, you know, let's be honest, you know, if like I said, if you're not hands on with stuff, you might want to stick to something like this. I am hands on, and I've been doing this for a while. So for me, my key thing is, if you're gonna be playing around with this, get yourself some painter's tape, the blue tape, whatever kind of tape that you won't damage this part. Okay? As long as you're not damaging this part, you know, you just put your tape there, your tape here, so whatever you know. And by the way, when I use this key set, right, from the Pittsburgh key set, and then I use also this Pittsburgh, believe it or not, this is a Pittsburgh 8-ounce hammer to hammer this. I think they call this an ear. This was a pain in the butt to hammer in, let me tell you. It took me forever to get it in there. Again, I'm not a gunsmith. I did it myself, as you guys can see. It took me a long time. It took me about an hour or so to get this in. It was a pain in the butt. Again, if you don't, because you could really mess this up if you don't know what you're doing. I use a little piece of cardboard if I don't mar up my piece. Also, again, you could use painter's tape. Again, you don't want to mess with none of that. Get yourself an Aero Precision. You don't have to mess with it. It's solid metal on the bottom right here. You don't have to play with it. All right. My thing is, I'm a hands-on type of person. So Anderson is no longer in business. I seen Anderson's last year as low as $25. So if I was to choose $25 compared to $100, I can get basically 4 Ds for the price of one of these. Which one I'm going to prefer? I probably prefer this one. I should have took advantage of that sale. I didn't. It was my bad. But it is what it is. But Anderson has been sold out to Ruger, because Ruger has taken over their factories. So it's going to be a real interesting year, because Anderson is no longer in business. So we're going to see how that pans out, because a lot of competition came from Anderson. A lot of people were buying from Anderson because of the price point and the availability. It was there. It was available. Although PSA has their AR lowers, they weren't selling in the stores like Anderson was. Like, I see more Anderson than any lowers receivers than any company that I know of. You could have find an Anderson anywhere. But I wanted to do this video to show you guys, you know, what's your options. Whether it's Anderson, whether it's Aero Precision, and I think Anderson, like I said, they sold out to Ruger, so we don't know what's gonna go on there. But Aero Precision, as far as I know, they having trouble too. Aero Precision is having trouble too. I heard stories that they're not even shipping out their products to their customers, and they've been getting in trouble for that. Like waiting months, like almost like 6-7 months for them to get a product. So Aero Precision, I don't know if they're gonna be in business any longer either. But this is the options that's available that I know of. Again, Anderson is no longer in business. They're gonna be bought out. They bought out by Ruger, so we don't know the future of them. I know Ruger's gonna have their name on it now. They bought their factories. As far as I know, it's gonna be the same people that work in those factories. The only difference is Ruger took over. So it's gonna be a real interesting year. All right. Just wanted to give you guys my input. Which one I would have gone with. If, like I said, if I had to choose which one, the $25 versus this $100 one, although this is nice to have and the color is awesome, I like this OD green. If I had to choose, if this was $25 again and I had to choose this one for $100, I'm gonna buy 4 of these versus one of these. That's just me. I mean, I'm just keeping it real. Even if I don't know what I'm doing and I marred this up, you could always get black spray paint or whatever, and you could paint this however you want. You know what I mean? That's the beauty about knowing about gunsmithing and stuff like that. You know, and I'm not even a gunsmith. I just know a little bit about guns, and you know, I've been doing this for a little bit, and I know a little bit, but I should never let go of that sale, because $25 for these, because I bought this for $60. I bought this for $60 like 2 years ago. But if I would have went back and bought 4 of these for $100, that's way better than just buying one Aero Precision. It sucks that I didn't take advantage of that sale, but I want to see how Ruger handles their business, because I think they got big shoes to fill, really big shoes to fill, because Anderson was dominating. I tell you, they were dominating the AR industry. They weren't fancy. They weren't the Gucci AR receivers that a lot of people are into. They were this quality. They were this, you know, you had to put a little bit of work into them, but they were quality, mil-spec receivers. As far as I know, this feeling, both of these are both mil-spec. And my philosophy may be different from other people's philosophy. This has a better paint job. That's all it is. This has a better paint job. This one, you don't have to play with this part, and you don't have to play with this part. That's all it is. But if you just put in a little bit of work, which is not that big of a deal, you can make this as great as this. That's just my take. That's my perspective. And it's going to be an interesting year, because I want to see how Ruger handles their business, because I think Anderson has done an amazing job. And for years and years and years. They've been in the industry for years. And by the way, I wasn't going to talk about this because my relationship with this company, Palmetto State, it's not a great experience. Not a great experience. I know they making good products out there. I even heard they getting into their own but this is the only product that I have purchased from them, which is the 300 Blackout. I think this is a 7.5 inch. Not, if I'm not mistaken, this is 7.5 inch. But my experience with them, okay, that's with the Anderson. Let's see the and that's with the Aero Precision. Like I said, to me, the only difference is this has a better paint job. That's all, in my opinion. And you don't have to play with the other two things that, to be honest with you, if you watch other YouTubers on how to do this is so easy to build. But, all right, going back to, I don't want to make this video longer than what it is. But going back to Palmetto State and my experience and their customer service, it sucks. And they actually banned me from PSA. They actually banned me from PSA. You want to know why? Because the guy lied to me. This FFL lied to me. And he asked them before I purchased, because I think they had and we're talking about receivers here. I had purchased 3 receivers from Palmetto State. So the guy, I spoke to my FFL in Zephyr Hills. There's a little spot. This guy that smells his dog and everything. I'm gonna try to get the name of the place. He told me, I asked him before I ordered them. I said, how much will you charge me if I get 3 lower receivers? And he said $25. And I specifically told him, is that for all 3 of them? Or I have to pay $25 each? He said, no, you just got to pay $25 for all 3. Okay, the time came. The receivers was sent out to him, the FFL. Okay, he receives them, and then you know, he gets them, whatever, and then he says, oh yeah, you got to pay $25 each. So it came up to $75. And I said, dude, you told me that it was going to be $25 for all 3 of them. I told you about this before I purchased them. And he said, I don't know what you're talking about. And being an idiot, the guy that he is, I didn't want to argue with him and stuff like that. So I walked out his store, and his store smells like straight up shit, piss, all that dog piss. And I really don't want to hang out there. So I called PSA, and he said, well, you have to have him ship back the products. Well, here's the deal. I don't want to go inside that store. It smells like shit, this and that. He has that dog in there. I don't know. I don't know if he tried to get that dog to bite me. Whatever. I'm being honest. So I go over there. I had to go in there. I had to fill out some paperwork for he could send back the receivers. I fill out the paperwork, and it took months for me to get my money. So I told PSA, if I don't get my money, I already signed the paperwork. He's supposed to take care of that. If I don't get my money, I'm going to make a dispute. So I already signed the paperwork. It took months for me to get my money back. So PSA has banned me from buying anything from them because I asked them to give me my money back. So my customer service with PSA, I can't recommend it to other people because their customer service sucks, and the people that work there suck, and therefore I cannot recommend PSA. You want my honest opinion? That's my honest opinion. Their customer service, and to me, serving me, they suck. Yes, I have this only product of theirs that I purchased in the past, but would I purchase other products from them, I will have to say no, because their customer service just sucks. Although I want to purchase other products, because I do think PSA has great products and they do have decent things. But as far as my understanding and their customer service and their quality, to me it's not there. You pay for what you get, and their customer, if I'm just gonna, to me as a business owner, to me customer service is more important than just making a sale. Because you can have a great product, you can have a great service, but if you don't have good customer service and you don't have a good relationship with your customers, your company is garbage, in my opinion. And that's what PSA is to me. It's garbage. And I don't care if I ruffle any people's feathers by saying that. It's just my experience. I am not going to mess with garbage customer service, because you can have the best and the greatest products out there, but if your customer service sucks, your company ain't worth nothing. And that's just my take. And if you guys are mad, be mad all you want. I'm just letting you guys know my opinion. Anyway, I'm out. Like and subscribe to the channel if you like this content. We are out. Peace. One.